We are talking with Julia Loggins. We can talk about who your former husband is?
Sure.
Kenny Loggins, okay? And you know that song, Julia? That was about you, right? The Kenny Loggins song, Julia? Was that written for you?
I didn't even know he wrote a song called Julia.
Yeah. Didn't he, Mr. Rock and Roll here?
I don't think so.
No?
John Lennon wrote a song called Julia.
Oh, well, maybe that was about you.
Yeah, the Beatles as well.
And the Beatles as well. Oh, I thought he had one too. Well, I talk. I don't listen to music.
As long as the Danger Zone was written about her, I guess we'll be okay.
Yes, Danger. That's very good. That's funny. Julia, I was talking about gas and indigestion. Somebody who suffers from both of those on a regular basis, would they be prime to have a high colonic?
Yes, absolutely. Gas, that tells us that the tummy and the intestines are just not working properly. They're not happy. And there's things putrefying in there, which is, I know, an icky-sounding thing, but it's actually what is happening. There's things rotting in there. Nobody wants to have things rotting in their body. We want to get rid of that and get it out. And a colonic, some sessions with a colonic can really help that, as well as learning what to do that a person can do all by themselves to make their digestion work better.
As a therapist, do you're right there. If somebody tends to be gassy, isn't that a little embarrassing for them and a little bit revolting for you?
Well, not at all, because there's no smell or there's nothing. The person is covered up and there's no smell. It's a very sterile procedure, so all the waste goes out through a tube and. There's nothing that it's not like I'm alone with them in their bathroom. It's a very different kind of procedure. So it's not embarrassing for them, and nor is it icky for me. Actually, it's, getting a colonic and the tremendous relief that people feel and a kind of euphoria after a colonic, because 90% of our serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter that we have that makes us feel happy, 90% of that is made in our gut, not in our brain. It's why I titled the book the way I did. And so when people struggle with not only indigestion but even depression, that tells us that their gut is not working. And when they finish a colonic and their bodies can make that level of serotonin, people feel great. So how could I not love being part of that?
And how often should somebody have this done if they're healthy?
If they're healthy and their bowels are moving regularly, then I have clients that see me for a session of 2 or 3, maybe once a year. Well, during that time, they might also do a cleanse, whether it's the one in my book, which I outline a 21-day cleanse, because after my first book, people said, okay, please hand me a protocol. What do I do? And what can I do yearly for myself to keep myself feeling as good as possible, turn back the clock, turn up my energy. And so I created a 21-day cleanse. It's very simple. It's not too stringent. A person can have protein and vegetables and juices. And then oftentimes when my clients are doing that, they'll come to see me for 2 or 3 colonics. And it's a great thing to do as a recharge and reset once a year.
And if somebody's having a problem, I suppose you go through a series, maybe two or three.
It takes the body is created in a way where it takes more than one colonic to move out all the waste in the colon and to really get the tone back in the colon. So we'll do a session of anywhere from 3 to 6. And depending on if a person is really struggling with a chronic or acute condition, then obviously they'll do more sessions. But that's in support of their immune system, because the immune system is also based in the gut. So we're really recharging and stimulating all these really vital organs and components of our health.
And what about probiotics, either before or after having a colonic? Is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. Probiotics are a good idea at any time, because putting healthy flora into the gut is a really important thing, and so many things decrease the amount of healthy flora and probiotics in our gut, like taking antibiotics or even huge amounts of stress, which many people deal with regularly. So yes, it's very good to put probiotics in after a colonic. However, colonic doesn't really wash them out because a healthy body will remake them, but it's a good idea to put them back in.
And as you're working on somebody, can you tell if their colon is healthy or not?
Oh, instantly. Absolutely. I can definitely tell. Part of it is the experience of having done this for 35 years, but there's definitely very clear signs, how a person's body is working, and just to kind of get people's visual going. For anybody out there that has kids, when your kids were little and they would go to the bathroom, it would just fill the toilet. And,
right.
And my clients will tell me, now I'm 40 or 50 or 60 and I have hardly anything come out of me, but yet my grandchild or my child will fill the toilet.
We have to go, but I'll tell you what, we're going to do, I'm going to have a colonic.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back in a couple weeks and we'll talk about my experience. How's that?
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, if you want information on Julia, you can go to latenighthealth.com. Her picture's there, link to her website, and, of course, her book, It Takes Guts to Be Happy. I'm Mark Alyn. Daryl and I return with Dr. Dave Foreman. We'll continue our conversation on gut health.
The show continues in a moment.